I had a pretty strong gut feeling that I missed something after I bounced off of Citizen Sleeper after a few short hours. However, after 12 hours and over 250 cycles, I can confidently say that Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector is a fantastic and addicting narrative sci-fi adventure that does one important thing that the first game didn't, which is offer the player more freedom. Ironically, Citizen Sleeper 2 is a sleeper, an emulation of the first game with nearly identical features that capture the hearts of over 1 million people. Making a return is the rich and evocative narrative, minimalist art style, fantastic soundtrack, but with a new story, a few new mechanics, and most importantly, a journey that isn't confined to a singular space station. In Citizen Sleeper, you played as a sleeper or a digitized human consciousness in an artificial body who managed to escape becoming a fugitive from the corporation that manufactured you, with the entirety of the game taking place in one location. In Citizen Sleeper 2, you once again assume the role of a sleeper who has escaped. This time you don't have your memories, and instead of the corporation, it's now a gang that is hunting you down. Your journey can now take you beyond the walls of the space station as you can venture into the surrounding galaxy and the myriad of places within it as you travel from planets to wreckage and other colonies looking for help and answers to everything. The writer, studio head, and main developer of Citizen Sleeper 2 has said that the script to the sequel features over 250,000 words, which is substantially larger to the original script that was around 100,000. In a game like Citizen Sleeper, everything hinges on the quality of writing, and once again, it's very eloquent and evocative, which creates a strong sense of immersion in this universe. Even without voice acting and sound effects, the writing is so vivid and descriptive that your imagination fills in the blanks as you can hear the hiss of the airlock or the hustle of the crowd in the cantina. Citizen Sleeper 2 touches on a lot of different topics, and I think each person will come away with a different meaning. Despite the story being about an escaped android, I think it provides a lot of relatable qualities and poses many challenging questions to the player and will leave them with plenty to ponder over long after the last cycle. Having mostly focused on major drives and reaching the first conclusion for my sleeper took around 250 cycles and around 12 hours. As important as the writing is to a narrative sci-fi RPG, one of the biggest ways that Citizen Sleeper stood out from the crowd was its incorporation of tabletop RPG elements, and they are still here as every point on your journey or decision you need to make is hidden behind the roll of a dice. In Citizen Sleeper 2, these systems have been slightly expanded to add systems of stress that will accumulate with bad rolls or starvation and can ultimately result in glitched or broken dice, which in a similar way to emotional trauma can drastically affect how you move forward with your life. Playing Citizen Sleeper 2 on risky difficulty, which is the medium option, will provide you with a very oppressive experience, as you will constantly feel that you are backed into a corner going from meal to meal and paycheck to paycheck as you're always low on supplies, cryo, and scrap. Add this stress to having to constantly juggle broken and glitched dice, and the result is a high level of emotional realism. You experience the galaxy as the sleeper would and understand firsthand how unforgiving it can be. As dreary as this might sound, Citizen Sleeper 2 is extremely addictive. There is always a carrot dangling at the end of a stick. Citizen Sleeper 2 offered plenty of choices, including which drives to pursue and who to trust, but most of them lacked a finality. I was hoping for tougher and more emotional choices. Another major issue is that you spend a lot of time making friends in the galaxy and gathering a crew, and even having to select which crew members are going to come with you on certain expeditions, but more often than not, they weren't actually there to help me. And it really would have alleviated a lot of frustration from constantly not having the right skills if I could have brought someone to help with those skill checks who would likely have a different skill set than me. I also found that there were just a few too many skill checks between certain plot points near the end of the game, which is at a time when you are likely to have broken and glitched dice. This dragged a somewhat simple task into something more frustrating than it needed to be, which was exacerbated without having a crewmate to help me with these skill checks. Citizen Sleeper 2 is almost a facsimile, as you are once again a sleeper on the run trying to make allies who can help you. The beloved core experience returns with a few new mechanics that added depth to the gameplay, freedom to explore, and a story that was over twice as big, but unfortunately, it didn't take many risks or innovate in a way that would have opened up the game to a much broader audience. With more impactful decisions, some voice acting, and a few cutscenes, Citizen Sleeper 2 could have taken the series to new heights. If you need proof of this, just watch the narrative trailer. Instead, the sequel provides a lot more of what people loved from the original and delivers a very engaging sci-fi story with an addicting gameplay loop. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to see more like it. Video games is a positivity-forward outlet, a place about being good to your fellow gamer and being better to your fellow human. Every single person in the world has the power to make it a better place. If that sounds like you, I would love to have you as a member of this community and would love to see you in the comments. That's all for this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.